All right. It's like 6 some in the morning. It just finished raining. Like it was raining. I woke up this morning to go for my run. I woke up with a lot of stuff on my mind. I ain't gonna lie. Like what motivated me to get up today was that I didn't want to think about the stuff that I was thinking about when I first woke up. So got up and I went outside and I seen it was raining. That made me get even deeper into my head. Right now, I'm at a point where I'm trying to take the signs for what the signs in life, through God, through the earth, through like really pay attention to things. And last night, I was on the phone with a friend. She was back in North Carolina. She was telling me how it was just raining and how she was enjoying watching the rain and stuff like that. And I just sat there thinking like, dang, I missed the rain. Like Vegas, it doesn't rain here. So in the months of me being here, I haven't really had a chance to really feel that feeling that I felt when it used to rain. I used to sit in my car and just let the rain just fall over, and it just used to be such a vibe. Like if you know, you know. Just for me to wake up today with the stuff that I had on my mind, to get up to ready to go outside, to look outside, and it's raining. Like it's starting to pick up again right now. That inspired me to write some things down and get some things for this video. This is my third talking video. So I decided to write 3 quotes that's helped me unlearn things about myself to display love for myself and others properly. So let's get into it. And if you got time, please like, comment, share, but most importantly, subscribe. This is a thing that I'm going to be doing more regularly, where I'm just going to dive deep into the mindset of it's a young black man trying to figure his way out in life. But this really can apply to anyone. Whatever your background is, man and woman, black, white, purple, you feel me? Like, this doesn't discriminate against anybody. Whatever your religion background is, sexual orientation, this is Dave's declassified textbook to humanity. This is for humans. So if you're human, this is for you. Tap in. And lastly, I will be dropping like a special 4th one at the end. So if you stick it out, if you stay to the end, catch everything I gotta say. Hear me out for real. Like how I talk. I got a bonus point that I want to share at the end about things that I unlearned to help me grow as a person. So boom, let's start with the first one. This one really covers the whole idea that actions speak louder than words. All right. So, from Edgar Allan Poe. If you don't know who Edgar Allan Poe is, he is a poet. I forgot what century, but he is up there with the scary scary horror writers. If you're familiar with R.L. Stein or Stephen King, he up there with them. Unhinged. Believe half of what you see and nothing of what you hear. Let's get into that. What was I going through that kind of made me like fall into this? I ain't gonna lie. Long part of my life, I was someone who was told, your word is bond. As a man, your word is bond. All right, you don't say anything you don't mean. And for a long part of my life, I took that as law, that whatever comes out of someone's mouth is what you should take. So I was told that people will tell you who they are. But unfortunately, I come to realize that was slightly misrelayed. It's people will show you who they are. And this is what I mean. A long time, I really had this thing, like, I just didn't like liars. I wanted people to tell me the truth. I didn't like having to try to figure things out, what people meant, or subliminals. And I think that really comes from my own self, being someone who isn't tone efficient. When I speak, people kind of assume that I have, like, I don't know, ulterior meaning behind the things I say. Like, some people, I could be elated, I could be happy. Someone thinks that I'm being sassy or being like sarcastic, or I could be being sarcastic and someone will take me dead ass serious. And I'm just like, is it me? With that, it comes to the idea where actions say things that people don't have the confidence and or knowledge to say. And I didn't know that. I had a really, really good friend. We hung out all the time. I trusted this girl before I even realized how much I trusted her, right? Based on how much I valued someone's words over their actions, I let this one thing she lied about practically destroy our friendship. Like, if I actually got into details, if you guys understood, like, knew what the one thing was, like, yeah, she did lie. At the end of the day, she did lie. I'm not going to invalidate my own feelings and say at the time where I was just like, oh, it was just, no, my feelings was hurt. But my feelings were hurt because I seen it the way that I had programmed myself to see it based off what I learned growing up as a kid. It was small as far as retrospect. It would have been something that we could have moved past. and she recognized it as that. But her whole thing was when we first started becoming friends. I guess one of the things that really became evident in me and my character is how much I associated respect with people's honesty and how they talk to you. Frankly, respect is in actions. You know, someone could tell you everything that they think that you want to hear. That could be cool for some, but a lot of times, if someone is telling you that they're going to change, or that they're going to do something, or that they're not going to do something, they keep finding themselves doing it, people will show you who they are. So with that situation with the homegirl, she knew how I felt about the whole lying thing, and even though she felt like the situation was something small enough that we could move past, she was more scared by how I would react to the fact that that she lied, not even to the actual lie itself. And when she broke that down to me, I was like, "How damn, that makes sense." I can't even be mad at. Like I was mad. I'm just like, "Nah, f all that. You still lie to me. You don't care about me. You don't care about my." It wasn't even like that. And it took me a second. It took me a second to really step back from the situation to see what it was for real. You know, to this day, I'm still grateful I even had that encounter with her, because she was probably the best person I would have had that conversation with, because she was able to articulate it in a way for me to understand. Like, but it took some time, like afterwards, for me to realize, like, I put too much value into what people say. I took words as law. But in actuality, someone's true nature is in their actions, what they do. The next quote will be, and this is for people who kind of deal with their emotions in not the most healthiest ways. Holding anger towards someone is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. This one will be quoted from the great Nelson Mandela. Actually, when I did a little more research, apparently they can't tell if Nelson quoted or if Nelson said it first, or either like Buddha or Dalai Lama said it first. I don't know, but the person that I got it from was Mr. Mandela, so this is what we're gonna stick with. Holding any type of negative emotions to a person, place, or thing not only keeps negativity in your body without that person, place, or thing having to do anything whatsoever to put that negativity in you. You're doing a disservice to yourself. You being angry at an ex, angry at a old classmate, old teammate, old teacher, you know, old apartment tenant, old boss. You giving power of your own body and your own emotions, the way you think, your own system. You're giving that power away to someone who's not doing anything for it. Whoever that person might have been to at a point to where they stopped being that person for you, and now you hold this anger and emotion towards them. It's okay to feel emotion. But when it comes to resenting someone, after a while, you're just harboring emotions that you never fully process. For men especially, what we do when we have a situation where anyone else would typically cry, we eat that shit and we go on about our day. A lot of times as men, we're told that our emotions make us weak or soft. Unless it's an emotion that someone explicitly told you that they find attractive. So now we're portraying that emotion all the time because we want to be seen as attractive. Something I had to unlearn, especially as a black man, is that my emotions are for me first and for everyone else second. The goal is to be more selfish, absolutely. But selfish has such a negative connotation on it that people think it's a negative thing. It's not. Selfish means being more of yourself. Being more of yourself means you are nurturing yourself. You're feeding into yourself just as much as you will feed into someone else. You will feed into a neighbor. You will feed into a celebrity. Be selfish more often. That also takes time to feed into your emotions. You can be happy about something. You can be sad about something. Be those emotions in that moment and be it as a service to yourself. If you're angry, be angry. I hope that makes sense. Do that thing that you did 2 years ago. Do it again. Try it again. See what happens. Every time you get angry about something or sad about something, confront those emotions. Feel it. As a black man, I understand that we are told that we have to be the toughest things moving around this planet. As a man, we are raised to believe that expressing our emotions makes us less of men. But like I said, this channel is for humans. You could be a man and a human at the same time. Two things could be truthful at the same time. Human means you are allowed to feel everything that you need to feel, everything that you do feel. It's not ignoring your emotions. If you feel sad about a situation, feel sad, but be ready to bounce back in a way that you never thought about before. You might hear people be like, yeah, go to the gym, go make some money. I'm not gonna lie, those are usually great points expressed by people who kind of like lead you to avoid your emotions. But I kid you not, if you confront your emotions, those two things increase tenfold. The business you wanna start, imagine you was able to confront your emotions about that business and still do that business tenfold. That makes you a boss. Imagine only go to the gym when you're angry and upset and you have a very good week and you just don't feel the need to go to the gym anymore because you had such a pleasant week. You met a girl or you met a guy, or you started a new job. Like, you're too happy to think about wanting to go to the gym because every time you go to the gym, you're associated with a negative emotion. You got to be able to do things that you truly care about in both states, happy or sad, up or down, or right in the middle. Trust me, I understand. As a stand-up comic, there's a lot of things about this world that I forgot about once life started lifing. Forgot about stand-up comedy. I forgot about the things I used to love to do. I used to be a nerd. I used to be a geek. I played sports, and I used to read comic books. I haven't watched none of the last Avengers movies, and I'm marveled out. If you see my childhood room, I'm marveled out. You forget. You forget, and it's okay to forget. You have to confront. You have to put that poison down. You have to do something appropriate with those emotions. And if that means cry, fucking cry. Next one would be, this is my favorite one. If you know me, you know I say this a lot. Basically, it's about being too close to a situation to really understand what it is. It has a lot to do with, say you in the midst of that situation and it's chaotic and you trying to use what's in front of you to solve the problem, and you feel like everything you're doing, no matter how hard you try, how good you think you're doing it, is not working. And that kind of tricks you into trying harder, which actually does the opposite of what you're trying to get done. A lot of the time, it requires you to take a step back from that situation and really look at it for what it is. So the quote would be, if you stand too close to an elephant, you can't see the elephant. I couldn't find who said this one. It just seems to be an old proverb. It's about elephants, so I'm assuming it's a very old proverb from Africa, probably as old as Africa. Really what it's meant for me is that, great example, I was in a situation where I was taking someone's words over their actions. They was doing things, but they was telling me other things. Honestly, what they were saying just sounded so comforting because I only knew how to gain comfort from what people told me. In this situation, she was telling me how I needed, to do this and how she's not used to that. She needed time for this, that, and the third, and I did everything. Some of you may be looking like, well, how do you know you did everything? I did everything. I wrote stuff down, kept up with a chart. I did everything. She'd even tell you. The issue was that I was doing everything she said in order to make better the relationship that we was trying to move towards. Thing is, she wasn't doing any of the things that I was saying. And the reason I was so confused was that, it came to a point where I really felt like I had a lot of very strong emotions for this girl. And I felt confident enough to say it to her one time. And I said it to her. She looked at me like, I hope you don't expect me to say it back. What that confirmed for me was that this may be true for me. I may really have really strong feelings for you, but you don't for me. And I thought that was evident in the words because she didn't say anything. But the truth of the matter is taking a step back from the situation. Because after she said that, we kind of took time away from each other. And, I had time to really think about it and talk, catch up with some old friends. And it really made sense to me after a while. It's just like, you was doing all of this. I'm like, all right, you was doing all this. And this is all the stuff y'all talked about. Y'all worked on it. Cool. And this is all the things she asked for. All right, what was you asking for? Communication? All right. What else? Just that? Oh, you didn't want nothing else? Oh, she just never got past that point. See, it was stuff it was pointing out to me. It's like, you only was ever asking for communication. You never got communication. But then she was asking for all these things. You did it. And then she just kept coming up with more stuff for you to do because you just kept checking things off. Actions speak louder than words. And that's why I really love that first quote, because it does. It simply does. It's a bigger testament to who they are as a person than anything they can tell you. Let people show you who they are. I thought I had all the pieces. I thought I knew who this person was. I thought I knew what this situation was based off the pieces that was in front of me whole time. So a whole bigger picture I was missing to it. We're not gonna get into it too much because it get deep. It do get like that. Not gonna front. Sometimes it really do take taking a step back from a situation to fully understand the value of that situation. So if you resonated with any of these, I would love you to drop a comment about a situation where it was very similar to any of these quotes, or where this quote would have came in clutch if you had heard it sooner. You feel me? So you could drop a comment of example where you would have loved to have heard one of these quotes, or where you did hear one of these quotes and it changed the course of your life. I would love to hear something like that. The last and final thing I want to point out, I'm about to get vulnerable with you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I told you last night I was on the phone with my homegirl back in North Carolina. She was telling me how it was raining. I just was saying like, dang, I missed the rain, bro. Like, I remember we used to sit in the car and just let it rain. And I started reminiscing on that emotion of what that was. I'm trying to think like, why did I like sitting in the rain, sitting in the car while it rained so much? Other than it just looking cool or whatever, stuff like that. As me now, realize I was so far. I haven't been in any situation where it rained like that in so long. Coming outside this morning, I'm not gonna lie, this morning I woke up with some stuff on my mind. I woke up a little sad, y'all, like a little depressed. What kind of got me to get up like, yo, I need to get up, go outside, go for a run. Let me jumpstart my brain to get out this fog. And I seen it was raining, and my first emotion was to be upset because it's like, why the freak is it raining the moment I want to go running? Then I really sat there and thought, like, first of all, it's raining in Vegas. That has to be a blessing in its own. Cause what I was like, matter of fact, this is the best conditioner running. But before I got to that point, I'm like, it's crazy how I was just talking about how I wish it rained out here, and it literally rains the next morning. Who's listening to our conversation? You know, like who's doing this? And it made me think, like, why did I miss this so much? Because the emotion I was starting to feel when I realized it was raining was very similar to the emotion I felt when I woke up, but it was like the equal but opposite. Feel sad, and it triggers a response. I grew up told as a man that our emotions are not something that we are allowed to display. Men don't cry. That's what we're told. We're told men don't cry for some odd reason. But when you have an emotion, it causes your body to have a reaction. Looking at that rain made me feel like having the natural reaction when I feel sad. I wanted to cry. And I couldn't understand it. I'm just like, why do I want to cry? Like, you feel me? Like, I'm just like, why do I want to cry right now? That feeling of being in the car when it rained, that was my version of crying. I never cried. And like during those situations. But the emotion I felt for being in the car, being in a position, especially when I was upset and it was just rain, I watched the rain fall off the window. That was my version of crying. And I had no idea. If you really take a step back from yourself and you really look at yourself, you start to understand who you are and what you do in certain situations. I had no idea that I used to enjoy that so much because that was the closest thing I got to relieving sad emotions that I had at that time. I had no idea. So I'm sitting there standing, I'm just like, why do I feel like I'm back in my car and it's raining? Everything really starting to, like, I really do see everything having a reason, a rhyme and reason behind it. Divine intervention, you can call it that. At the end of the day, I strongly feel like God let me to have that conversation on the phone. Allowed me to wake up with the emotions I had on my mind. Because not even that, he must have knew I was going to feel that way when I woke up anyway. Because this is something, you know, the things I was thinking about stuff, something fresh that happened not too long ago. And he put me in a position to realize, like, son, you need to cry. I kid you not. They just started, the moment that clicked in my head, I'm standing outside my door looking at the rain. And I'm like, why is it raining? It's funny, I was just talking about raining. Dang, what's this emotion I feel? This feels familiar. Is it? Tears straight down, kid you not. Like, I had no time to even really, like, the moment it tears, and I'm like, I needed to cry. We don't cry enough, or we're not put in positions where we're allowed to cry enough. For real, it is hard. You find yourself googling stuff like how to cry. You could feel silly about it at first, but when I tell you, you look back at it after developing power and strength over that emotion, you chuckle, but you are so grateful to yourself and to the people around you that led you to that. Whether it was that person that broke your heart or the job that fired you, you found your true passion at a time when you was in your darkest moment. And that's what happens when we confront our negative emotions. We learn stuff about ourselves. We can't push that stuff down. I know I've been mentioning a lot about, you know, as men, but I'm talking as a human. All of you, anyone watching this, we have to confront our emotions for ourselves, not for anyone else to see. It has to be something that we are doing for ourselves as a service to ourselves. If you're upset, but be upset as a service to yourself. Not to get back at nobody, not to make nobody feel the way that you felt. Work on making yourself feel better, not to make someone feel worse. Because at the end of the day, I kid you not, they probably don't care. And they have no obligation to. The only person that's fully 100% obligated on this earth to care about you is you. Everyone else that cares about you makes the choice to care about you. And choices can change. Hopefully, when you establish that at least one person on this planet has to care about me, and that's me, you start recognizing the signs and signals of people that are also supposed to be in your life, fulfill that position. Once you realize you by yourself and you are strict about the type of people you let around yourself, you start meeting people that qualify. And it gets strange based on my experiences. I know to move forward with you, whether that's friend, loved one, business partner, you have to take those L's. You have to know the signs of things to avoid. And you have to learn yourself. You have to understand what you can handle and what you can do. All right, that was the end of this. I'm about to go for my run because my alarm went off like 3 times. And I still gotta get ready for work, and I'm hungry. So all grace to God, all glory to God. And at the end of the day, they gotta eat. They gonna cry. They gonna do something. I don't know. We gonna figure out. But yeah, feel those emotions, man. Don't let them emotions be locked up in you like that, man. However you gotta process it, whoever you gotta pray to, man, just like that. Just let it out. Just let it out. All right.